Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer. Today, we're unpacking a truly foundational topic, ISO/ISE 42010-D23. More specifically, we're looking at exactly how this standard serves as the architectural blueprint for AI data governance. So, if you're looking to establish a secure, compliant AI data foundation that actually holds up to scrutiny, well, you're definitely in the right place.
Okay, let's dive right into this. I want you to think of your AI system like a massive, state-of-the-art skyscraper. You can have the absolute most advanced algorithms in the world and a team of brilliant engineers, but at the end of the day, AI is really only as good as the data feeding it. Without rigorous governance, you aren't building a skyscraper at all. You're basically building on a crumbling foundation. And just to put this into perspective with a pretty surprising fact, IBM actually estimates that bad data costs the US economy over $3 trillion a year. Unmanaged data literally exposes organizations to critical security vulnerabilities, operational failures, and massive compliance risks.
So here is our roadmap for today. 1. The Data Governance Foundation. 2. Defining roles and accountability. 3. Ensuring quality and integrity. And 4. Continuous monitoring and audits.
Let's kick things off with Section 1, the Data Governance Foundation. By definition, data governance is the framework and policies ensuring data within an organization is managed properly and securely throughout its entire lifecycle. Now, under ISO/IEC 42001, 2023, this isn't just about, locking your data away in a dark server room. Not at all. It requires a fully documented framework to manage availability, usability, and security from the exact moment data is collected to the moment it's securely destroyed. It really forms the absolute backbone of your information security. Moving right along to Section 2, Defining Roles and Accountability.
Now, this is where it gets really interesting, because accountability basically breaks down into three distinct identities. You can kind of think of them as the site managers on our construction project. First up, you have the data owner, who provides that high-level strategic oversight. This is typically senior management, like a VP or a director, who's actually setting the policies. Next, we have the data steward. These are your lead operational folks. They're the ones ensuring day-to-day data quality and enforcing access rules. And finally, the data custodian. This is your technical IT or your database admins who implement the heavy-duty controls, things like encryption and backups. The key takeaway here? Without all three of these roles working in perfect harmony, accountability completely falls apart.
Which brings us to Section 3, ensuring quality and integrity.
The ISO 42001 2023 standard heavily emphasizes that data must be accurate, consistent, and reliable. And to get there, it requires a very strictly documented purification lifecycle. Step 1 is data cleansing, which means actively hunting down and removing duplicates and correcting errors. Step 2 is formatting validation. This is where you implement strict checks to ensure data perfectly adheres to predefined formats the second it's entered. And Step 3 involves consistency checks, meaning you're continuously monitoring that data to prevent any sort of corruption over time.
This transformation is absolutely crucial. We start with raw data, which inherently contains duplicates and errors. It's just messy. But through our documented governance framework, we transform it into clean data that is highly accurate, validated, and continuously monitored. The cleansing step removes all the noise, while the validation ensures that every single piece of data is speaking the exact same language before it ever even touches your AI model. Now, you might be wondering, why go through all this trouble? Well, because one misformatted dataset can skew an entire AI model's output. Seriously, just think about an AI that's analyzing financial records. A single misplaced decimal point in a poorly formatted column, it throws off the entire projection. It's a total domino effect. Bad data leads to flawed predictions, which leads to completely compromised decisions. At the end of the day, the integrity of the data dictates the trustworthiness of the AI, period. And to lock that beautifully cleansed data down and prevent any unauthorized alterations, the ISO standard mandates some very specific technical integrity controls. We use checksums, which, if you aren't familiar, you can think of as unique digital tamper evidence seals. They verify that the data hasn't been altered during storage or transit. We also use version control to actively track historical changes, so we can always restore original data if needed. Plus, we maintain rigorous access logs to guarantee non-repudiation. That's just a fancy way of saying we always know exactly who touched the data and exactly when they did it.
And finally, Section 4, Continuous Monitoring and Audits.
Look, governance definitely isn't a set-it-and-forget-it project, not even close. Continuous monitoring requires tracking access in real time, constantly verifying those checksums we just talked about, and conducting periodic audits.
By actively monitoring the data lifecycle day in and day out, we can actually detect anomalies and security incidents early, like long before they can ever compromise the AI system. This kind of ongoing, relentless vigilance is what truly guarantees long-term ISO compliance. So I'll leave you with a somewhat provocative question to ponder today. Is your AI data built on a solid foundation, or is it just sitting on sinking sand? By strictly defining your roles, enforcing documented data quality, and continuously monitoring your systems using this ISO/IEC 2023 blueprint, you aren't just checking a box for compliance. You're actually building the ultimate currency in the age of AI, and that is absolute trust. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and I will see you next time.